Hello, my name is Jaffa and welcome to the somewhat ironically named third episode of FNAF Simplified. Today we will be tackling the original final game, FNAF 3, starting 30 years after the closure of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, a scare maze, haunted house hybrid named Fazbear's Fright, the horror attraction, is set to be opened in an attempt to revive the legend and to make the experience as authentic as possible. We start FNAF 3 as tradition dictates, with a phone call. This time, however, we have a new guide, dubbed by the fandom, Phone Dude. Unlike 1 and 2, we seem to have worked in the FNAF 3 location before, as we're welcome back for another night. It's also explained that not only do we have normal security guard duties monitoring the horror attraction, but we will also be a part of the show. In fact, Phone Dude jokes that
we don't have something really cool by next week, so we may have to suit you up in a furry suit and make you walk around saying, boo.
I'm pretty sure he's joking anyway. After an update on new finds for Fazbear's Fright and a fire warning, which is totally not foreshadowing it, we have a first for Five Nights at Freddy's, a normal work shift. How spooky. On night 2, Phone Dude excitedly informs us that we found one, a real one. But more importantly, they found Phone Guy's old training tapes. Yes! Best day ever. Oh yeah, also Springtrap's here. To try and prevent the chaos that has previously ensued on the series, I'm going to split this episode into 5 main portions. Night shifts, 2 possible endings, majority of the minigames, Ralph's training tapes, and the usual closing timeline. Let's begin with our appetizers, the night shifts. Each night we sit in our office, using audio lures to keep Springtrap at bay, and resetting our ventilation, audio and cameras when necessary. Easy, right? Wrong. You are kept busy by the phantom animatronics, either hallucinations or ghosts of animatronics from the previous games. These watermelon-coloured cohorts will jump scare you, temporarily breaking one of your 3 systems until you reset it. The exception of the Phantom Puppet, who likes hugs. Probably too much, to be honest. Failure to fix these damages to your vital equipment will almost certainly lead to Springtrap sneaking, rather shambling, into your office and killing you. Springtrap appears to be a heavily damaged golden green rabbit animatronic, with what looks to be human remains encasing his endoskeleton. I wonder how they got there. Depending which minigames you play depends on which ending screen you get after beating Night 5, but afterwards you will be granted with the optional challenge of Nightmare Mode. If you manage to elude Springtrap's clutches, a newspaper will proclaim the fiery demise of the attraction. Authorities have not ruled out foul play, but at the moment, it seems to have been caused by faulty wiring. Since I'm only allowed the information gained throughout the FNAF trilogy, we're gonna go with faulty wiring.
That's what it said on the news. And the news never lies.
An animatronic that I feel people often forget is in FNAF 3 due to them being so rare, with only a 1 in 10,000 chance of appearing, Shadow Freddy, or Crumpled Freddy, as he's referred to in the Ultimate Guide. It doesn't do anything, but 1, Shadow Freddy is still around 30 years later, and 2, I don't know, I just feel kind of bad that people forget he's there. Unlike Crumpled, the puppet is not forgotten, as their appearance is evidence that the marionette is still around in Fazbear's Fright, still guiding the spirits of the MCI after over 30 years. If that truly is why she's here, then where are the spirits? There's part of the FNAF 1 crew scattered around the location, but Phone Dude himself said they could just be cosplays.
Now let me tell you about what's new. We found another set of drawings, always nice, and a foxy head, which we think could be authentic. Then again, it might just be another crappy cosplay.
But whether or not they are the original parts, we know the souls must be present in some way, as shown in the game's endings. Now, whilst there's 2 endings, they appear very similar but with very distinct meanings. If you neglect the secrets of the minigames, you receive the bad ending, a screen with the heads of Freddy, Foxy, Chica, what seems to be Golden Freddy, and Bonnie. All 5 heads have a singular light within them, symbolizing that though destroyed, the souls of the MCI victims still remain within the animatronics. Similarly, the good ending shows the empty heads of Freddy, Foxy, Chica and Bonnie. their eyes no longer glowing, implying the spirits are free from their furry cages, further supported by the Happiest Day minigame, which you are required to beat to unlock Good Ending. But in order to properly beat Happiest Day, we must first find the secrets in 5 other minigames, starting with BB's Air Adventure, a quaint game where you hop from platform to platform, collecting balloons. Once you have picked up 7 out of the 8 possible balloons, an exit door will appear. However, if you ignore the door and instead jump through the top left corner, you can drop outside of the game, where you will pass 3 shadow balloon boys and a tree, and finally find the 8th balloon, ending the minigame, at least for now. Next up is Mangle's quest, in which, as Mangle, you put yourself back together, whilst evading the Green Man of Death. After collecting 4 parts, an exit door will appear. Jumping through the top right corner instead, however, will again allow you to drop outside of the game, this time past a shadow puppet to floating balloon platforms. Parkouring your way along their path will lead you to a cake, which you must collect before returning to BB's Air Adventure, but we're still not done there. After tracing our steps, we can jump back through the top left corner, drop onto balloon platforms, to an awaiting spirit who we give the cake we collected in Mangle's quest. Have I lost you? Great, because next up is Chica's Party, where you must collect and give out cupcakes. Just like BB's and Mangle's minigames, ignore the exit door and go through the floor below, and then jump through the top left twice to get to the dead child awaiting their cake. And now to definitely lose you, Stage 01, where Golden Freddy must leave what seems to be a fixed Springtrap on the stage, phase through the stage, pull out of the game, pass copies of the stage room, walk past 2 screens, jump up on top of the 3rd screen, over to the left, glitch back onto the stage, and up the right wall and onto its roof, phase through another stage, and up to the left wall and onto another roof, and jump across to the right to deliver the cake to the ghost waiting for you. You're not lost, you're a better person than me. Our last pit stop is the minigame Shadow Bonnie, a slightly easier glitch game where you press S to teleport through the other minigames until you reach BB's Air Adventure. You will never escape. Where for the final time, you must go to the top left and fall through. This time, walk to the middle of the room and teleport one final time to give the dead child their cake. And now that chaos is over, to beat Happiest Day, all you need to do is play as the puppet and walk past some tables filled with animal mask wearing children, to the final room where children wearing Freddy, Chica, Foxy and Bonnie masks, one unmasked child waits for you. Cake that you bring. The unmasked child puts on the lighter Freddy mask, and all the spirits fade away, their masks dropping to the ground. Now before we get into the final minigame, I think that it is important to go over the training tapes left to us by Phone Guy, aka Ralph. These training tapes mainly inform us on how to operate 2 specially designed suits that deal with both animatronic and suit. Phone Guy explains to us how this is made possible by Springlocks, which recoil the animatronic parts, making room for employees to climb inside but are also incredibly sensitive.
Try not to nudge or press against any of the spring locks inside the suit. Do not touch the spring locks at any time. Do not breathe on the spring locks, as moisture may loosen them and cause them to break loose. In the case that the spring locks come loose while you are wearing a suit, please try to maneuver away from populated areas before bleeding out, as to not ruin the customer experience.
Inevitably, this ends up leading to an incident that involves, quote, multiple and simultaneous Springlock failures at a sister location, perhaps Fredbear's family diner, resulting in the retirement of these suits. Ralph notifies the listener that replacement suits are en route, but until their arrival, employees are expected to wear the temporary costumes provided to you. This incident could possibly link into the Shadow animatronics, both of whom are in this game, and linked in some way to Spring Bonnie, we know to be a Springlock suit. Apart from the obvious link of being a rabbit, Shadow Bonnie has a connection to the Springlock suit through his minigame, where he starts in Stage 01, where Spring Bonnie and Golden Freddy are performing on stage. We'll go in depth with Follow Me in a minute, but a key detail is that Shadow Freddy leads the player to a room which houses Spring Bonnie. Add the fact that he's essentially recolored with Golden Freddy, and we have a pretty strong connection to the golden suits. With their ghostly nature, perhaps they're the spirits of whoever was wearing the Springlocks during the incident. I mean, come on, you are not surviving that. Springtrap is not, well, living proof, but definitely walking proof for that. Speaking of Springlocks, despite them being barred from use, one of them, Spring Bonnie, is noticeably moved. Spring Bonnie? It is very similar to Springtrap, and also... Wait, no, just Springtrap. Not only that, but what were the qualifications for the mascot suit we've known about since all the way back in FNAF 1 was used for the MCI? Cartoonish mascot. Check. Yellow suit. Check. Hidden in the back. Check. Linked to a known child killer. Double and triple check. Hooray! We have the answer of what suit was used in the MCI, because that's a mystery in 2025 that has not been confirmed in any form whatsoever before now. Yup. Ralph repeatedly mentions a safe room.
Served for equipment and or other property not being currently used and as a backup safety location for employees only. This is not a break room and should not be considered a place for employees to hide and or congregate.
In addition to this, we're offered an explanation as to why we've never actually seen this before, with it being excluded from all security systems and hidden from patrons and animatronics alike. This checks out, as with the exception of an office and a couple of dream and minigame sequences, we've never actually left the security offices, only viewing the pizzerias via the security systems from which they're hidden. Now the final training tape we hear from Phone Guy is about the urgent closure of the safe rooms. Let's take a listen.
Hello. This is just to inform all employees that due to budget restrictions, the previously mentioned safe rooms are being sealed at most locations, including this one. Work crews will be here most of the day today, constructing a false wall over the old door face. Nothing is being taken out beforehand, so if you left anything inside, then it's your own fault. Management also requests that this room not be mentioned to family, friends, or insurance representatives. Thanks again, and remember to smile. You are the face of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza.
Very not suspicious indeed. How very much budgetary. Not at all because of death and or distraction. Now that we all know about the safe rooms, it's time for Follow Me, a 5-part minigame which chronicles the destruction of the classic animatronics, or so we think, and the rise of the monster we face off against throughout the main game. Each of the first parts of Follow Me follow the exact same principle. As one of the FNAF 1 animatronics, you follow Shadow Freddy, who will lead you to a room you are unable to enter. This location's safe room, mayhaps? Purple Guy, who we discovered in FNAF 2 Simplified, killed not only the puppet kid, but also the MCI and DCI, will run out and dismantle you. The 5th time you play as a ghost, and there is no Shadow Freddy to follow. Instead, you have to choose to find the remnants of Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy. However, you are now able to enter the room previously barred to us. Upon entering, 4 ghosts appear in the doorway behind you. Purple Killer panics, running around the room as you give chase, which ends as he dons the crumpled golden yellow mascot suit slumped in the corner. He stands, laughing at the nasty things we have become, how small we are, how worthless. Okay, fine. Masked Killer starts convulsing, blood spewing out from their entire being as they collapse in agony. All 5 spirits fade away, leaving him in torment. The scene seems to pick up in the trailer, albeit with a 30-year time gap, as we zoom in on Springtrap in the same crumbled position, still convulsing in anguish. A quick note I feel I need to mention about the design of the animatronic sprites is the choice of detail. At first glance, they appear to be an 8-bit representation of the FNAF 1 crew, Chica's orange chicken legs, and Bonnie having, well, a face. But on closer inspection, Bonnie and Freddy both have the addition of a button on their torso. As many before me have pointed out, this must be deliberate, seeing as Scott would have to actively add buttons rather than just not add them. No era of animatronics do have buttons with similar designs, however, the Wizards. Now am I saying these are the Wizards? Honestly, I don't know. Follow Me is one of the 8 FNAF mysteries that I just can't find a self-contained answer that feels right for. Closely followed by which Into the Pit is canon. If the classics are dismantled by Purple Guy, and then he dies around the same time in the safe room, leading to Phone Guy notifying the closure of the safe room, how can the classics be able to kill Phone Guy after his announcement, which can only happen if both Purple Guy and the animatronics are broken? They can't. Unless things aren't what they seem. I have two main explanations for this. Either A, the spring locking incident did not happen in the safe room. This hinges mainly on the idea that they're hidden from all security systems. Why would this affect an 8-bit minigame? It wasn't. But also, we FNAF fans do jump a lot of sharks on a regular basis, so maybe you could apply the same logic to the minigame. So I'm clutching at straws. Option B. When the staff found the newly trapped Springtrap in the safe room, they would have also found their star attractions torn apart on the floor. If Freddy's is still open to the public, they would need to either replace or repair the animatronics. This can also lean in with Freddy and Bonnie having buttons in Follow Me, but not in FNAF 1. Now, I was putting this up to a vote on my community page, but YouTube has been mistakenly turning off the comments on my community posts. So, to get rid of any bias in the vote towards alternative ideas, and definitely not to fuel my own bias towards animatronics being repaired, I'm just gonna have to go with the repairing of the animatronics. Look, it's not up to me, my hands are tied. Literally! Unlike the previous games, FNAF 3 seems to answer more questions than it asks. A nice respite in FNAF, meaning whilst the overall timeline up until the events of the game remain relatively unaltered, the details are slightly less fuzzy. Let's dive in, shall we? Late one night outside of Freddy's restaurant, a purple car slowly drives up, coming to a stop next to a child who's been locked out. Tears stream down their face, drenching them as the purple guy approaches. Purple guy kills the child, smiling, and drives away as if nothing happened, leaving the child's lifeless body, and their soul left to possess the puppet animatronic. Fast forward to the end of June in an unknown year. Purple Guy now works as an entertainer at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, donning the Spring Bonnie costume, one of two specially designed suits that can be turned into a full animatronic at a moment's notice, but are tied to the incredible risk they present to the wearer. Purple Guy lures 5 children into a safe room, hides their bodies into suits of the animatronic band: Chica the Chicken, Bonnie the Bunny, Freddy Fazbear, Foxy the Pirate Fox, and a Springlock variant of Freddy, Golden Yellow Bear. The puppet helps the souls take control of their robotic tombs, allowing them to move freely, tying them permanently to the suits. After a multitude of reports of the animatronics oozing blood and mucus around the mouth and eye holes of the animatronic mascots, as well as the general unsanitary state of the pizzeria, Freddy's is threatened with being shut down. Freddy's try and ultimately fail to find a buyer and end up scheduled to close. In 1987, the restaurant reopens, but added security systems and a new line of toy animatronics, tied into a criminal database. The old animatronics from the original location, once intended to be fixed up for the pizzeria, deemed too ugly partway through, stripped for parts and shoved into a back room. Purple Guy takes up a job as the new security guard in the new Freddy's, killing another 5 children. With nowhere to hide the bodies this time, he leaves their bodies strewn across the pizzeria, resulting in an investigation. Around this time, Purple Guy takes a day shift, before being later arrested due to the footage from the CCTV, but miraculously got off of all charges as if it was forgotten footnote in the plot that doesn't have an answer without slightly altering the original context of the newspaper article that clearly told us he got arrested. Ahem. Jeremy Fitzgerald takes the night shift in Purple Guy's absence, but at the end of his first week, Freddy's hosts a final birthday party before their closure, with Jeremy set to take that shift. During the party, one of the animatronics attack Jeremy, biting his frontal lobe but not killing him. The toy animatronics are promptly scrapped, and the withered animatronics are kept for a potential reopening on a small budget. This is precisely what happens, but as usual, Purple Guy comes back, just like he always does. One by one, he destroys the refurbished animatronics, while being haunted by the souls residing in the suits. In an effort to evade them, Purple Guy throws on the old Spring Bonnie suit. Due to the general disrepair and unsanitary state of the pizzeria, rain leaks through the roof into the sensitive Springlock suit that the laughing Purple Guy is wearing, triggering the locks. Sharp parts of metal endoskeleton, now free, burrow their way into his body, killing him. Broken remains of the animatronics and the Purple Killer are presumably found sometime later by the staff. Whilst the animatronics undergo repair, Purple Guy isn't so lucky. Phone Guy notifies all employees that the safe rooms in every location are to be immediately shut down and sealed, and that everything in them are left inside to rot, including the Purple Guy. In 1993, Phone Guy finishes his last week as security guard, but is killed by the now repaired animatronics. Phone Guy's last tape to guide him, Mike Smith replaces him, surviving a total of 7 nights before he's promptly fined for odour, general unprofessionalism, and tampering with the animatronics. In 2023, Fazbear's Frights, the horror attraction, is built in an attempt to revive the legends of what happened in Freddy Fazbear's Pizza over 30 years before. They find the remains of Purple Guy, now Springtrap, and put him in the attraction. The guard at Fazbear's Fright manages to keep it at bay for a week before faulty wiring causes the whole building to go up in flames, along with the memories of the past. During this time, the puppet works to free the spirits of the missing children, eventually succeeding, them all getting to finally have their happiest day all these years later. As the final surviving relics are being salvaged, a tattered figure lurks in the shadows.